Hey friends, today's lesson is one that I believe is going to have such a huge and positive impact on your life. It's something that's been placed on my heart to share with you. And it's a story from the Bible. And if you're listening to this and perhaps you're, not religious, you're not a Christian, just know that I'm going to be reading what's called a parable. So pretty much a story, right? So no different from, stories that you might read, whether it's Harry Potter or any of the others. But for those of you who want to kind of read this on your own, the story is found in Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. It's called the parable of the talents. Now, before I go into reading this parable, I just want you to note how important it is in teaching about money, investing, fear, right? These are very important things, but especially fear, because this topic of fear holds so many people back from building wealth. So with that understanding, let's go ahead and let's dive in. I hope this story has a huge impact, a positive impact on your life, and it serves as a blessing to you. And for anyone here who perhaps has dealt with fear, I hope that this breaks that hold of fear on your life and turns it around to something positive, something good, and makes you more confident in your relationship with money. So the parable of the talents. One last thing. So I'm going to be changing two words, right? So in the story, it talks about a master and servants. In some verses, they also talk about slaves. Obviously, I don't want to consistently be saying slaves and master, taking into context how that might not be appropriate for today's day and age. So I'm going to be switching out master for mentor and, servants for mentees. Right? So if you're reading this by yourself, you'd be able to understand the change. So Matthew 25, verse 14, the parable of the talents. For it is just like a mentor going on a journey. He called his mentees and turned over his possessions to them. To one, he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his own ability. What did the story say? It says, the talents, and back then talents could represent money, possession, something of monetary value, right? But it was distributed each according to the recipient's ability. Then he went on the journey. Immediately, the man who had received 5 talents went to put them to work and earned 5 more. In the same way, the man who earned 2 talents earned 2 more. But the man who had received 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid the mentor's money. I want to pause for a moment. Notice that the person with 5 talents, it says what? Immediately. That's the word. Immediately, the one who had 5 talents went and put it to work to earn 5 more. So isn't it amazing that this mentor distributed the talents according to each person's ability? And to the one that was given the most, that person didn't even wait. It says immediately the person went to earn or to invest it or to put it to work to earn 5 more. Let's continue. After a long time, the mentor came and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 talents approached and presented 5 more talents and said, Mentor, you gave me 5 talents. Look, I've earned 5 more. The word look shows a certain level of, like, look at what I've done. There's a certain level of joy, meaning that the individual knows that they had to do something to honor the mentor. Right? So look at what I've done. The mentor said, well done, good and faithful mentee. You were faithful over a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your mentor's joy. Then the man with 2 talents approached and said, Mentor, you gave me 2 talents. Look, I've earned 2 more. The mentor said the exact same thing. He said, well done, good and faithful mentee. You were faithful over a few, so I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your mentor's joy. Then the one who had received 1 talent approached and said, Mentor, I know you are a difficult man, reaping where you've not sown, gathering where you haven't scattered seed. So I was afraid and went off and hid your talent in the ground. Look, you have what is yours. I want to repeat that or to read that again. The individual started out by making excuses. The mentee said, Mentor, you're a difficult man. I don't even know how that's a compliment, but that's what came to this mentee's mind in the moment. You're a difficult man, reaping where you haven't sown, gathering where you haven't scattered seed. So I was what? Afraid. Fear. I was afraid and went off and hid your talent. So look. So this individual's joy was in that they didn't lose the mentor's money. But this is how the mentor replied. You evil, lazy mentee, if you knew that I reap where I haven't sown and I gather where I haven't scattered seeds, then you should have deposited my money with the bankers. I'm going to pause for a moment. The mentor is saying what? If you didn't have the knowledge and the ability, why are you making an excuse? Why didn't you find someone competent and capable to have helped? Because it's one thing to know what to do and do it. There's another to look for excuses, right? I'll read that passage again. The mentor replied, you evil, lazy mentee, if you knew that I reap where I haven't sown and I gather where I haven't scattered seeds, then you should have deposited my money with the bankers. And when I returned, I would have received my money back with interest. The mentor then went on to say, take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10. For to everyone who has, meaning to the individual who are the most productive, to individuals who use their talents, right? To everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have more than enough. But from the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. Go ahead and throw this good for nothing mentee into outer darkness. In that place, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I know the story ends in a very dark place. But notice what led to that. An individual being fearful. An individual looking for excuses. What do you think happens to individuals who go through life with excuses or living with fear? Do you think that life ends in a light place, in a place of abundance? No. So if there's one thing that I want this story to impart upon you, it is this. Be someone who utilizes your talents. And talents, yes, in this story is referring to money, property, investments. But it can even go beyond that. Talents can be your abilities, your God-given gifts. Use them. Put them to good use. And when it comes to money, don't let fear hold you back. Acquire the knowledge, right? You've taken a first step. You are part of this generational wealth program. I'm now your mentor. I'll teach and educate you. My goal is to make sure you are like the mentee who was given 5 talents. So that when you have the resources, you immediately know what to do. The mentor was joyful with the individuals who put their talents, their financial resources to work. Not only were they blessed and were told to come and share in the mentor's joy, but notice that they were even blessed with more, with the individual that did not put their talent to good use. They ended up losing it. So I want to encourage you today. Don't let fear hold you back. Replace that fear with knowledge. And throughout your life, if you encounter certain moments where maybe perhaps you don't have the adequate knowledge or skill or ability, find someone trusted, reputable, that can help you. I hope this parable, this story, has been a blessing to your life. I wish you the absolute best on your journey to financial success. If at any point I can be of help, please know you can reach me via email, text message, any of our social media platforms. It is just such a joy to know that you are part of the Generational Wealth family.